So today, we're going to dive into the story of a nation that's going through a massive transformation. We're looking at the narrative Saudi Arabia is building for itself, and it really comes down to three key things: a super deep-rooted tradition of hospitality, a population that's way more diverse than you might think, and a whole generation of young people who are just driving incredible change. Let's break it all down. Right off the bat, this statement really sets the tone. It tells you this isn't some slow, gradual evolution. Nope. This is being framed as a major historic turning point. We're talking about a story that's about changing everything, from the economy and city skylines to the entire national vibe. So, how are they telling that story? Okay, first things first. To really get what's happening in modern Saudi Arabia, you have to start with hospitality. It's being presented as more than just a nice social custom. It's really the core of the national identity, something that's been baked into the culture for centuries. And this whole idea of hospitality is really built on three layers. First, it's a spiritual thing, tied to the country's role as the keeper of Islam's holiest sites. Second, it's a huge logistical reality. They manage millions of pilgrims every single year. And third, it's just this deep, deep culture of generosity. And here's the key point. This long history of welcoming people from all over the world is now being used as the foundation for modern tolerance. So that's the historical foundation. But how does that connect to what's happening right now? Well, the story then pivots to the country's current demographics, which are described as a living mosaic of humanity. And that naturally makes you wonder, right? What does this mosaic actually look like when you crunch the numbers? Well, the data is pretty surprising. Get a load of this. Almost half, 44.4% of the entire population are non-Saudi residents. That is a staggering number. It completely challenges a lot of common ideas and shows you just how huge the international presence is inside the country. To really put that into perspective, out of about 35 million people, it's almost a 50-50 split between citizens and non-citizen residents. This demographic mix is presented as this constant, daily engine for cultural exchange. And if we dig a little deeper, you can see where a lot of these residents come from. We're talking about enormous communities, millions of people from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Yemen, and Egypt. The point here is, this isn't just some small expat bubble. It's a genuinely multicultural society. Okay, so we've got a foundation of hospitality and a reality of diversity. The third piece of the puzzle, the real jet fuel for all this change, is the nation's youth. They're positioned as the main engine driving everything forward. And check out this next stat, because it is just wild. Almost 70% of all Saudi citizens are under the age of 35. That's not just a youth bulge, it's more like a youth tsunami. And this demographic reality is seen as the single most powerful force shaping the country's entire future. Think about that for a second. The average age is under 27. That incredible youthfulness is where all this energy, this ambition, and this real hunger for rapid change is coming from. So you have all this youthful energy, right? Well, it's not just happening randomly. It's all being channeled through this huge national strategy called Vision 2030. The whole point is to build what they call a vibrant society by pushing for moderation and tolerance while also, and this part is key, massively diversifying the economy away from its old industries. So that's the big plan. But what does all this actually look like in practice? What does it feel like on the ground? Well, this last part looks at the tangible, real-world signs of this new era. And honestly, you can see the signs of this change everywhere. You've got these huge global entertainment and sporting events showing up. There's a big push for cultural exchange with international art and new dialogues. And crucially, you have the creation of brand new industries, tourism, tech, entertainment, which are opening up all these new career paths and pulling in global companies. So when you step back, the shift is just huge. It's a move away from a society that had a more limited, localized focus, both economically and culturally, to one that is just aggressively diversifying and going global, opening itself up to completely new ideas, new industries, and new opportunities. And all this leaves us with a really interesting final thought. You have a nation that is very consciously building its future on two main pillars: its ancient tradition of being welcoming and its modern reality of being incredibly diverse, with all of it being powered by the energy of its young people. It's a fascinating story, and it leaves you with a big question. What does a future built on that unique foundation actually look like?